I got into woodworking for a few different reasons, but I feel like probably the thing that kickstarted it for me would be skateboarding. As like, you know, a really young kid, I was always fascinated by the fact that this piece of wood, you could just do so much with it. Even in high school, like having a really good wood shop to work in and build projects, and like realize that I actually kind of had somewhat of a skill and I could do these things pretty easily for myself. Me and my friends built our own skate park when we were like 13, 14, 15, and that really just kind of ramped up the whole idea of like becoming a woodworker or a carpenter. I think my sister is probably like one of the biggest reasons why I actually got onto a skateboard. She had this skateboard because she wanted to go hang out at the skate parks with the boys, and I got given that skateboard. It's like an old school like 80s like kind of fish-shaped deck, like just a huge tail, short nose. Because before the skateboard, I was using like a little Tonka toy dump truck. Like I'm not really sure like why I got attached to it so early, but like it just seemed like a natural thing for me to do, and it was just like fun to push up and down the driveway, you know? Like it was just so freeing. Building my own skateboards, like I didn't realize there was so much to think about. How to make a skateboard strong, what shape am I gonna make it, what woods am I gonna use, concaves, like there's wheelbases, like there's all these different things that I never thought about until I built my first skateboard and realized like, oh shit, this actually doesn't skate like skateboards I've skated before, so like what have I done wrong, you know? So typically you start with a 7-ply veneer. I've seen decks that have like 9 plies, but those are like a little bit too thick of a skateboard for my liking. Most skateboards are pretty standard this way, like they're mostly a 7-ply deck. So I believe with a 7-ply deck, you have 5 veneers that have grain running lengthwise, and then you have 2 veneers that have the grain going cross lamination, because that is how you build strength. Yeah, like I even think now, like, you know, I've built 2 skateboards. The third one, if I wanted to make it strong and not break, I would use a different kind of glue. You have to have a really good glue or epoxy that will handle skating hard. Because you're jumping up and down, like the board flexes and stuff too, so if your glue is not super strong, when your board flexes, it's gonna pop those plies open, right? So, but realistically, even if I make it strong, I'll probably still break it. I think for me the most annoying part was like the waiting period. Like I put the skateboard in the vacuum bag and I gotta wait 48 hours before I can pull it out and work on it. And now I shape it and sand it, but now I have to wait like days worth of finishing because I have to wait 24 hours between each coat. The annoying thing, I guess, is just waiting. When I built this skateboard, I was kind of inspired by the first new snowboard I ever really bought. That snowboard made me better as a snowboarder, so I'm gonna try that shape out on a skateboard and see if I'm better because of it or not. For me to put my stamp on the skateboard that I build, I have to like make my own shape and make it unique to like who I am. I'm a snowboarder first, skateboarder second. I've had a lot of people, like ever since I built the first skateboard, like a lot of people asking me if I'm building skateboards. Like I'm not building them for anybody else but myself. I could build skateboards for people, but I want to do it with my friends in the shop and just have it be like a thing that we do, and I can look back, you know, when I'm like 80 years old or 90 and look back at that specific moment in time and being like, that was super fun. Like I did this with my friends. It wasn't about money. It wasn't about looking cool. It was just about like hanging out and building shit with your friends, you know, like being a kid. There's something to be said about having a group of friends with you, and again, like you're just helping each other get better at doing something. It's really cool, for one, just to be able to build something, but to be able to build something and actually use it the way you want to use it, it's a hard feeling to describe to somebody because like you're the most connected with that thing at that moment. The first time I built a skateboard and I had hopped on it, even though it wasn't what I wanted at the end, just simply throwing that board down and pushing on it felt cool because I built it for myself, you know? And that is just like a feeling that you won't really ever get from anything else. kind of like a drug, you know, like it's a high you get that I feel like you just constantly keep chasing. You know, even for somebody like me, where like I've turned all of my passions into like basically my career. Like, you know, I get to build drums and fix drums for people, which is wild because like never thought that would happen. I get to do fun stuff every day at my day job and build lots of cool stuff and like learn and get better. To some degree, I do so much of that stuff that like I've kind of like lost peace of mind I used to have with it. Once you do so much of that stuff, it's kind of hard to stay that connected with it. But I find with skateboarding, it's like the one thing I can do, not necessarily escape life, but to just be at peace for like a very short period of time. It's fun to be able to like go to a park and just rip around that park, and like everywhere you go you're doing a trick off of something, and like, you just have like a nice clean run, and at the end of it, after you do, you know, all like 5, 7, 9 tricks, whatever, like the fact that you landed all that and you didn't hurt yourself is a great feeling. Because you know, like a lot of people do meditation and stuff and people find ways of like, you know, just being at peace for a second. For me, that's skateboarding. It just allows my mind to just be clear of all thoughts. And that's why I love it so much.